What's going on, guys? I'm Pete, and welcome to Retro Game Attic. Chances are, if you have a copy of Pokemon Ruby or Sapphire, the internal battery probably has run dry at this point. These games are just about 20 years old, and these batteries don't last forever. So, in this video, I'm going to go through the steps on how to replace it. It's not as hard as it seems, and hopefully we'll steer you guys in the right direction. So before we do anything, let's pop the game in the Game Boy Advance and show you the message that we're getting. It says the internal battery has run dry and the game can be played. However, clock-based events will no longer occur. So when you do get that message, it is an indicator that the battery does need to be replaced. So let's get this game open and get started. So first up, I'm going to go over everything that we're using here. First tool we have is a tri-wing screwdriver. I'm going to throw a link to that in the description. And then just a cheap soldering kit. It's around 10 bucks or so off of Amazon. So you are going to need a tabbed 1616 battery for Pokemon Sapphire and Ruby. I'm not sure about all GBA games. There probably are different batteries for different cartridges, but just do a quick Google search and see which one is right for you. But before we do all that, let's get that game open. So we'll turn it around, and there's just one screw. You insert your tri-wing screwdriver, pop that screw out, slide that cover off, and here we go. Here is the old battery. We'll take out the board too to get a closer look. So here is the battery that we're going to be working with. So we'll take our replacement battery and just make sure everything lines up. It looks like it will be a direct replacement. Now that we have the soldering iron heated up, I'm going to heat up the two tabs on the battery while pulling up just very gently with these tweezers, just in the hopes of prying it off. We'll get started with the first one here, that is the positive terminal. We're just going to heat up that work area. Alright, so we finally got one tab up. So I'll work around to the negative side. We'll add a little bit more flux to the tip and then just keep working at it. We'll heat up that solder as good as we could. Keep prying up, and we got it finally. And as you can see, there's not a lot of solder left on that second point, so I'm going to reflow what's in there and then just add a little bit more before we replace that battery. And we'll get a closer look at the battery itself. So it is a CR1616, like the replacement. Before we do anything, let's clean up the area with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. Doesn't look too horrible. All right, a little bit of flux, and we'll just put it right up to those points just to reflow the solder that's in there. So that positive side doesn't look too bad, and then we'll move on to the negative side. All right, and then we'll just heat up and just add a little bit more to the other side. So next up, we're going to take our replacement battery, and then you can see on the board itself, there's a positive side and a negative side. So on that battery, you just want to make sure that red goes to positive, and of course black goes to negative. So slide these covers off. I'm going to do one at a time just so I don't lose track of things. So we'll start with the positive terminal first. You don't need a ton of heat, just push down very gently as you're heating up the area. So I'm going to add a little bit more solder on top of that tab and see if that helps hold it in place. Okay, doesn't seem like it's the best hold, but we'll try it right now. And then now we'll peel that cover off the negative side. We're just going to reflow that other area. And then I'm going to grab just a tad bit more solder and just melt some right on top. I am not a professional at all like that. The positive side doesn't look bad. The negative looks a little grody, but I'm going to clean it up with some isopropyl alcohol, pop it back into the Game Boy Advance, and see if it works. All right, so moment of truth. Game is in. Hey, look at that. There was no internal battery has run dry message, so I guess that worked. So hopefully this video was a bit of help in getting you your battery replaced. Again, I am no soldering expert. I am probably like the biggest rookie out there, but long story short, you just heat up the two tabs, gently pull up with your tweezers, and you should be in good shape. Just take your time, make sure to clean up with isopropyl alcohol, and hopefully you can get your game going again. I'd love to do a little more advanced soldering videos as I'm learning here, so maybe I'll tackle something a little more hard in the future and put it out there for you guys. So if you'd like to see that, please let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you guys so much for checking out Retro Game Attic. I really do appreciate you all. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you on the next one.